Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about mechanism of action of DPP-4 inhibitors and incretin mimetics agents. These are the oral hypoglycemic agents. Now DPP-4 it is dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors and these are relatively newer class of oral hypoglycemic agents. These class are also known as gliptins. Usually, these drugs are prescribed for people with type 2 diabetes and not responding to metformin or sulfonylureas. Now, these DPP-4 inhibitors, these drugs, they inhibit the DPP-4 enzyme. Now, what could be the mechanism of action? Here, when a nutrition containing a carbohydrate is ingested by a human being and it get enter into the stomach and it get digestion process, so this in response to the glucose in the food, the incretin is one of the hormone which get releases from the intestine. And these incretin, there are two types of the peptides like glucagon like peptide 1 and glucose dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, that is GIP. Now these peptides, they are releases after meal from upper and lower bowel, and they augments glucose dependent insulin secretion during the phase of nutrition absorption from the GIT. So once incretin is stimulated or releases, it get immediately inactivated by the enzyme dipeptidyl peptidase 4. Now this dipeptidyl peptidase 4 particularly is a serine protease enzyme. They are widely distributed throughout the body. Now, this enzyme inactivates the release incretin. So, these incretins or GLP-1, they have the they have the glucose lowering activity. How it shows its action? Once it get releases, it will stimulates the beta cell of isolate of Langerhans on the pancreas. As a result, there is a continuous release of insulin, and this insulin then enter into the blood and reduces the plasma glucose level. So thereby this will helpful in reducing the plasma glucose level in the blood in diabetic patient. Now incretin also have the negative effect on alpha cell of the pancreas, and as we all know, this alpha cell stimulation secretes the glucagon, and glucagon increases the glucose level. So incretin, it also inhibits the glucagon level, and thereby it decreases the glucagon secretion. And as glucagon secretion is decreases, it will not increases the glucose level, and it also alters the uh, level in the liver, and thereby they will help to reduce the plasma glucose level. So this is what the mechanism by which the incretins produces the insulin release and thereby decreases the plasma glucose level. And particularly here for DPP-4 inhibitors, now these incretins, they are immediately converted into inactive peptides, so it will not be present for longer activity. And this conversion, this inactivation takes place with the enzyme dipeptidyl peptidase 4. So here these DPP-4 inhibitors, they inhibits the enzyme DPP-4, thereby conversion of incretin or GLP-1 to inactive peptides is inhibited, and this is a reversible process, and thereby they prevents or more incretin will be available for longer period, and it stimulates more insulin release and thereby helps in decreasing the plasma glucose level. There are certain drugs which are under this DPP-4 inhibitors category. First is the sitagliptin, then vidagliptin, saxagliptin, alogliptin, and linagliptin. Another class of drug, that is GLP-1 based agents. These are the incretin mimetic drugs. As we know, incretin is a hormone which gets secreted in response to the glucose in the meal. So these drugs, incretin mimetic drugs, they are particularly mimics the action of incretin, and they are not metabolized by DPP4 uh, enzyme. So they are resistant to DPP4. So what is incretin? These are the hormones produced by GIT in response to incoming nutrients and have important action and contribute to glucose homeostasis. So there are two peptides, namely gastric inhibitory polypeptides and glucagon like peptide 1. So the important features of these peptides are these gastric inhibitory polypeptides. They are also known as glucose dependent insulinotropic peptides. They are 42 amino acid polypeptides and discovered in 1969 as they secreted from the proximal intestinal case cells present in duodenum and jejunum. They are released by ingestion of carbohydrates and fats and stimulates insulin release. They inhibits the gastric acid secretion. Type 2 diabetes patients are resistant to the actions of GIP. Hence, high blood level of GIP is found in this type of the patient. Whereas in case of glucagon-like peptide, this is a 30 amino acid polypeptides and it was discovered in 1988 later to the GIP. Its T half is 1 to 2 minutes. As we have shown, it is immediately get inactivated by the DPP4 enzyme. They are secreted from distal intestinal L cell and released by ingestion of carbohydrate, and rapid release occurs from ileal L cell within 50 minutes of eating. So it releases the insulin at greater than 70 to 90 mg per deciliter. In type 2 diabetic patient, there is a efficiency of GLP-1 peptides. Now, GLP-1 based agents are available like the incretin mimetics. So these are the exenatide. So it is a chemical, it is a synthetic compound. It is a in lizard saliva called exendin 4. It was shown to act in similar way to the human hormone like glucagon like peptide 1. These drugs are injected subcutaneously with 60 minutes prior to morning and evening meals. Now, initially, a 5 microgram per dose twice daily is given, and this dose will be doubled after 1 month based on the clinical response obtained from the patient. Now, another drug, that is liraglutide. It is a human GLP-1 analog, and its slow absorption from the subcutaneous tissue. Then it resists the DPP4 enzyme. That means these drugs are not metabolized by DPP4 enzyme into inactive peptides. Therefore, they are available to mimic the action of incretin, and as a result, these drugs stimulate the release of insulin from beta cell of isolate of Langerhans. The plasma half-life of these drugs are 13 hours, and they are not, they are precautions are given that in pancreatitis, like they produce a serious hypoglycemia, then thyroid T cell tumors in animals. These are certain adverse effects of this type of drugs like headache, nausea, diarrhea, anti-liraglutide antibody formation, then vomiting, upper respiratory tract infection, urinary tract infection, dizziness, sinusitis, and nasopharyngitis. So this is all about the simple mechanism of action of these two categories of drug. Thank you for listening.